from Arizona's family.
Well, never a dull moment in the Valley of the Sports. This is the Extra Point Podcast in Phoenix, Arizona. Mark McClin alongside the well-dressed Nick King, fresh out of the studio. The makeup looks good, by the way. What'd you talk about today?
This was a formal event. So.
It is. It's the Extra Point Podcast, man. You gotta bring your best. I just, kept it casual today. A lot going on in the Valley of the Sports. You were over at Cardinals today. What was kind of the vibe over there?
Well, it was positive. We learned about vitamin W. Cornerback Antonio Hamilton dropped that one, how important vitamin W can be, and that's just getting a win. I don't think everyone exactly understood what he was saying at first, but it was one of those classic news dumps after you leave the facility that you find out, A, Zach Ertz likely done for the season with that knee injury, and B, Eno Benjamin released from the team.
Man, yeah, that was kind of a bombshell. And there's a lot to think about, talk about here, and speculate about. But let's talk to an expert, and he's no stranger to the airwaves here on Arizona's family. The one, the only, the Sun Devil legend, Jaelen Strong. And Jaelen, been kind of a wild day. How have you been keeping tabs of what's going on in the news?
Keeping up through the internet, social media, and stuff like that. A lot of the inside guys are putting stuff out, and I just, make my hypothesis and stuff like that from there.
So you were on the inside. Now you're still on the inside. You have a little scoopage on Twitter that we'd like to ask you about in a little bit. But just as it works in an NFL locker room, obviously it's somebody's job, right? So you have information. You say what you need to say publicly, and then Nick said you have the news dump. So how does that whole situation work as they're trying to release information at the perfect time so it doesn't really affect the roster and what they're trying to do competitively?
Honestly, I think because of the fact they do have those HBO cameras in their Hard Knocks, they have no choice now but to come out and say what their thinking and reasoning was for releasing Eno. And I saw a couple of things so far that were pretty much on the lines of what I heard as well. And Eno's a very competitive back, and he wants to touch the ball more. He wants to be more of a use to his team to help them win. And at some point it's about team and not I. And if went in there and demanded a trade or something like that after, or requested to be released or something after the game, then the Cardinals won. They got a good thing going. One game with Colt McCoy, he's 3-1 as a Cardinal starter, and I think people should understand that and give him some respect in that regard as well. But when you have a team that's been struggling like this all year, and then you go out to LA and win, you should be just happy that your team won. And if your attitude and stuff is lingering negativity, and Cardinals can, make their decisions on what they want to do from there. But Eno's a great player. We know he could do it all. He was kicking the ball and tackling people. We just, you just hope that it wasn't a rational decision by Eno where he, ultimately got himself released. And that's why I don't think the Cardinals are wrong. They've been through a lot this season, and you want everybody to have that same mentality that not me, it's we. And if you have someone with that mentality, you set an example, and that's what the Cardinals look like they did.
So Eno only played one snap yesterday after he had been fairly productive while James Conner was hurt. And Cliff was asked about that. Why did Eno only play one snap? And his answer was just Conner was back and healthy, wanted to give him a starter's share of reps. But Jaelen, have you ever seen that a guy was released simply because he was like, give me the damn ball more?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it happen. But again, there's always things that can transpire. I don't know if it was the week leading up to this game, and he could have had an attitude Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He could have been moping around, could have been negative energy throughout the whole week. We don't know. And you don't want to, you just won. You got a win against the LA Rams, That's a big deal for the Cardinals. They needed that win. They're going to need to win next week as well. So you don't want to have these things lingering on in the locker room, that could linger on into next season or so forth. So you get in front of them, and they may seem detrimental right now, but you could be, cutting off a finger to save a hand later on down the line.
Yeah, and I mean, Eno Benjamin, for our purposes, always enjoyed talking to him. I did go up to him in the locker room 2 weeks ago and said, hey, you got time to talk? And usually, I mean, Jaelen, you've been in those situations. Nick, you've been in those situations. We're asking, Jaelen, you're sitting there, it's media time. And
Right.
and he said, no, I have to go. And I thought that was really odd. So I do wonder, looking back at that Saints game and those carries at the end of the Saints game, I mean, he kind of won the game for the Cardinals if he was kind of like, man, look what I did for you guys, and now I don't get the ball.
Yeah, I don't think it would. I don't. That's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where he believes in himself. He's very confident in himself, and he's a great player, a great running back. He could catch out the backfield. He picks up blocks and protection. He does it all, and he's not that expensive, so it brings a lot of questioning. Why? Could it not be fixed? So that just goes to show that we have to trust what those guys are doing in that building. They, run that organization for a reason. So I believe that they know what they're doing, and it was the best decision they thought they should make for the team. I just, I still believe that will end up in a better situation though. So like, I mean, I guess if it works out for the Cardinals, hopefully it'll work out for too.
I can't wait to watch Hard Knocks this week. I have to know what happened, and you would think that today's news kind of we'll find out about that.
The only thing I would wonder is maybe that such a big deal here, but nationally not as much of a name. Whether that is something that HBO, a storyline that they're really interested in.
Yeah, but
they have great video of yelling at someone. Give me the ball.
And they've got great tape of him in the Saints game too. So I think that this has to be. I mean, this can't be just swept under the rug. This is something.
Oh no, nah, they won't. Hey, one thing I know, HBO producers won't sweep anything under the rug.
Oh, so you were there in the middle of Hard Knocks, and you and the coach. What was that whole experience like, having the cameras there and knowing that everything was live?
It can be annoying, because you have a life that you're really trying to live and focus on and do great by and do better. And then you got a camera just hovering over you, watching every move, and you can't even can't do anything. You don't even want to, get something out your teeth or clean your teeth. It can add a lot of pressure. Maybe the Cardinals needed the cameras in there. Maybe everybody's, it's new for the mid-season Hard Knocks. It's pretty new. You're going to get way more drama. In the beginning Hard Knocks with the training and all that, like training camp, a lot of that stuff is dramatized, like a lot of it. But in the season, you can't really fake it. We want to win. We want to win now. People are getting cut. People are getting hurt. It's really what it is. It's not. You can't add any flair to that. So I know they won't be able to hide it with the Hard Knocks stuff this tomorrow or whatever. So I'm looking forward to seeing what all went down to.
Well, and just a win. I mean, a win after so much negativity here. And I mean, Jaelen, you've been in the studio with us, and Nick, you've been on the road with this team. And let's start with you, Nick. Just the feeling. You were there today. Did you sense like a palpable feeling that just things had turned around just because they got in the win column on Sunday?
I think there's still, rightfully so, a little bit of hesitation. It's like this could be something that turns things around. There's a little bit of a hope there, but I think there's some realism there too that we all think too. Like, we've seen enough glimpses, and there just hasn't been any consistency from the team. So I don't think it's any okay, one win against a Rams team that's maybe even more beat up than the Cardinals, and certainly a far cry from that team that won the Super Bowl. Like, everything isn't solved, but there was definitely a feeling of okay, we're not dead.
Not dead. And Jaelen, as they go to San Francisco this week, you've got the quarterback situation. I mean, do they have a quarterback controversy this week? How do just as you study this team and what you pick up, how's the just general swag of the team after beating the Rams in LA and now going to Mexico City?
It's definitely gonna be exciting because they're going to Mexico City. And they already beat the Rams, so they know they can beat San Francisco as well.
Yeah, it's certainly. I mean, it would turn around the season really fast. Did you play in those international games, Jaelen? Is there some excitement?
It is excitement. I didn't play. I was on the team. I broke my ankle with Houston when they went and played the Raiders in Mexico City.
Did they get a lift? Was it sort of the team,
honestly,
everybody wants to put on a show?
Yeah, definitely. I think it is some added pressure too, though. You know, because the environment is like a Super Bowl type feel because you are in another country. I just believe that all those fans that are football diehard fans are gonna be in that building, no matter what, and it's just gonna be added pressure. But I think Cardinals can use that to their advantage because it's not really too much pressure on them. But
yeah, no, turn it loose.
Right, the Niners coming. You know, the Niners didn't play that well last night either, so you know, it can be done. You know, it looks like they want to force feed Christian McCaffrey. They forgot all about Deebo Samuel, so the Cardinals take care of Christian McCaffrey. I think it's going to be Cardinals.
Who do we think will be playing quarterback tonight on Monday night for the Cardinals?
I think Colt McCoy.
You think? Do you rest Kyler through the bye week? Is it, or do you ride the hot hand? What's kind of the thinking there?
It's not. I don't think it's about hot hand. I think it's about you just look at the team yesterday. You look at the team yesterday, and you look at them versus Seattle. And then yesterday they were away, and then at Seattle they were home. The energy of the team is different. You know, when Colt McCoy is spreading that ball around. You know, I saw AJ Green in the end zone. You know what I mean? It was exciting for a lot of players. You know, when you have that, you have to ride with that. You know, you have to just who has the hot hand. It's not really so much a hot hand, but it's a hot hand for the team. You know, the team is rallying around Colt. You know, they just went into LA and beat the Rams. He's 3-1 as a starter. I think that says a lot too.
Yeah. Okay. So Jaelen, you're a wide receiver. I mean, AJ Green didn't have a catch the previous 3 games. Hadn't had a touchdown since week 6 of last year. Hop still has a big game. Rondale Moore still has a big game.
Right.
But Kyler's the $230 million guy. Like, how would you handle that in that you kind of know, or I think you know, that the team's not going to bench Kyler if he's healthy, but I don't know. Like, if you're a wide receiver in that spot, and, yeah, the energy was totally different on the sideline yesterday, like, how could you handle that situation?
As a coach,
even just being one of his teammates, like as a wide receiver, you're like
as a wide receiver, I just honestly, you just have to whatever quarterback's in there, you have to make them feel as confident as possible. You have to let them know that they can trust you. So maybe in practice, you know, when Colt's in there with, you know, AJ or Hot and those guys, he's just slinging it, you know. Maybe when Kyler's in there, he's going through his progression of the number 1 and the number 2. You know, it could be things like that. So when Kyler gets to the games and he's looking for his 1 and 2 and they're not there, it looks crazy. Now he's running around, you know. Where Colt, maybe, I'm going to be honest, man, it doesn't take much to apply yourself and read defenses. I know Kyler isn't as tall as we all would like him to be, but the same coverages since 1980s are there running now. So if you watch on film, you'll be able to understand, like, okay, and this is a man beater, this is a zone beater, this is in my 3-step drop. This is what I'm looking for. If they pop out in this zone, this is where I'm going. That's the purpose of film. You go through your script and the film at the same time. Now you go through your script and the film, 3 different looks of the film, but the same script. So you get a different look each play. So that way you know, if I get cover 2, I'm going here. If I get cover 3, I'm going here. If I get cover 1, it still works too. Or if it's too high, I could check into a run because we got them outnumbered in the box. Colt McCoy was checking yesterday. He was calling points out, Mike points out, possible blitzers. I haven't seen Kyler do that. That helps your O-line know what's coming. You know, if I've got my hand in the dirt, I got 2 eyes. I can only really see what's right here in front of me. I can't see if a linebacker is creeping down. So let me know. Hey, Mike got one coming over here. All right, let me know so I can look up and check him out. That's what quarterbacks do. So I think Colt McCoy being in there yesterday, his experience and him being a football IQ guy. He's very smart. Colt is very smart, and he could throw. So like him being that guy, that extra coach on the field, well, really, that's what the quarterback is supposed to be, that coach on the field. Him being that yesterday, we saw what the Cardinals can do with the average quarterback. Imagine, if someone has the play of MVP caliber quarterback all year, then, we kind of saw a little bit of that last year when they were like 8-0. But we all know what happened since then. I just feel like it's about applying yourself. And if Kyler really doesn't want to be in Arizona, he should not have let them pick him. He should, because he's doing everyone else a disservice. You're the quarterback. You lead the team. So when you really want something, you apply yourself. And you make sure that you don't miss out on anything. You go through your film. You got 10 other guys depending on you right now on this field. So we saw what happened with Colt McCoy out there, and that's the Rams. So I'm willing to say that they probably rest Kyler this week. Is the soft tissue or whatever, anything right with him, and probably go with Colt, go bye week, and then come back off the bye week.
Yeah, and I wonder that study clause is going to come up again. I mean, kind of what you're hitting on there, and
teams don't say those things for no reason, man. Like they clearly know he's bringing his game to every trip. You know what I mean? He's in the hotel playing his video games. Like they know these things. They're not. This is still a business. It's still an organization. They still want to win. Like winning is how they keep their organization thriving. If you are a liability in any form, they don't care to let it be known to the public how you are a liability to their program. And then when people could put it together and see, like, okay, like I'm watching the games. I was at the Seahawks game, and I could see clear cut like where I'm going with the ball on a 3-step drop, and it's like even if it's a check down, I'm not forcing it, I'm not running around. Take what I could get now because we live to fight another play. It's not. It's that's really what it is, and then even it's the little things, ball security, being in that treatment room, being in the film. I'm not in the building, but I played football. I was in the locker rooms and stuff. I made my mistakes as well, so I've learned from them, and I could see where the things are happening.
And I think maybe he should come back. We should just break some news that you should come back as a would the knee hold up?
I can't throw. I can't throw.
Caught a lot of footballs though.
Yeah, I just know the game very well, but just from that standpoint as a receiver, knowing like being in that offense, the offense is the most focused unit in the building. Defense, hey, I could be playing corner and fall. The quarterback still may not see that receiver, so I could be linebacker and shoot the wrong gap. The running back still may not get that hole. But offense, all 11 have to work together for one play to work. We need about 40 plays to work for you to win the game. So it can't be no mistakes at all. So when you have to have a quarterback who holds you to that standard, it's all about the quarterback. I'm telling you. So like people even talking about Kirk Cousins playing average, but it's his energy, got the Vikings even feeling like they could win. That's all it is. Kyler, I'll never see him smile, man. I'll never see Kyler smile. So it's like, man, like it's stuff like that, It's like I never see him smile. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I think if he doesn't want to be here, he should never sign that contract.
I would love to know, and we don't have the answer to this, but I would love to know what he's thinking as he watches that game yesterday and watches his teammates smile on the sideline a lot, which we have not seen a ton the rest of this season. And Jaelen, you hit on, like, you made mistakes and you learn from them. Do you think Kyler applies anything that he watched Colt do? Or he's a guy that, rightfully so, is very confident, but he's not big on, like, self-responsibility and calling himself out on what he's done wrong. I wonder just if he watches that game yesterday and thinks, maybe I could do some things differently and take a note or two from Colt?
I mean, honestly, like all I'm gonna say is this: in that Hard Knocks clip last week, all D Hop asked him was, "What do you see?" That's all he asked him.
And that led to the sideline blow up?
He blew up. He blew up. It's like, bro, I could never play with a quarterback like that. There's no way. Now everything I feel like I'm doing, I'm walking on eggshells. You notice Hop didn't get one more target after that. Did you notice that?
That's crazy.
He got one target after that.
What are
notice
you
that?
looking at, one?
But why would you not throw it to Hop? I mean, why could?
Because when some people are bigger than everything else around them, man, you know, he's small, man. You know, smaller guys have, you know, ego issues too. So he's always been a champion for one. I'll never take that away from Kyler. He's won at every level, maybe except college, but won the Heisman, right?
Yeah, Heisman, and he went to the Final Four, lost to Bama, I think, in the Orange Bowl.
High school, he's won.
Yeah.
He won baseball high school. He got drafted in high school in baseball. He's always been the guy. Like how many people did he have to deal with? He doesn't want to. He doesn't have to deal with you if he doesn't want to deal with you, because he has plenty of people around him that will say yes, 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 yes. You know? Yeah. So it's like when you got people around him that hold him to that standard, like, yo, come on, man, what you doing? He'd rather be around somebody that's like, it's all right. You know, that's all it is to it. And until you have someone who's like, it's on me, I gotta be better. I gotta be better. I gotta be better. It's not no we. I don't hear any quarterbacks that say we without saying I first. You know, they all the greatest I gotta be better, and we'll get it together. I gotta be better, or I have to make better reads. I have to, you know, hold on to the football. It's never about another team or I don't know what's going on. We have to figure it out. No, that's not how a starting quarterback answers it. You know? That's not how it goes. Those two guys in the locker room are watching them same interviews and like looking at it like, this is who's leading us. We got Colt McCoy out there. Turned up. Let's go. Be 1-0. Be 1-0. You keep hearing that. Be 1-0. Be 1-0. You think about, okay, forget last week. Let's win right now. You keep hearing that. That's what Colt McCoy brought to the table for them. And, we saw that yesterday.
Certainly fascinating there. Yeah, it's going to be real interesting, Hard Knocks. We turn our attention now to another big story in town, and that's your Arizona State Sun Devils and the coaching search. And we're big fans of Sean Aguano here and just, you know, watching what he did at Chandler. It seems like today our Brad Denny is reporting that the school has hired a search firm, Korn Ferry, and that the move that we think is you know, maybe imminent. I guess it can't be maybe imminent, but that we think that the boosters want is Kenny Dillingham from Oregon, keep Aguano on the staff, bring in like a Charlie Ragle from Idaho State who started out with Dillingham at Chaparral, and maybe like even a Jason Mons. You pull him from the high school ranks. I mean, there's you could build an Arizona high school football coaches all-star team here. So, Nick, I'd love to hear your thoughts because you've worked with a lot of these guys, and then get to Jaelen. But just Nick, would this fix Arizona State to get a bunch of Arizona guys back here who kind of know what it takes to make this place great?
I would love to find out. I think that it sounds great, and it would certainly inject some enthusiasm from the fan base to probably see a lot of local Arizona kids. You know, sidebar kind of, doing this on our Friday night shows, going to a different high school and talking to one of the top recruits, the top seniors in the state each week. It's like Oregon, USC, Oregon, Northwestern, Oregon. It's like all these top guys are going to Oregon and SC and, you know, pretty much anywhere but here. And so, you know, we know that the talent at the high school level in Arizona has grown considerably in the past, decade plus.
Yeah. I mean, when I got here in 06, it doesn't even look like the same sport. You watch the two best teams, and you're like, there's no way these are the two best teams in the state. Now it's you have dudes.
It would be fun to see what it would look like with a bunch of local guys and how hard they would recruit here. I would also say, though, that, ASU looked like it was about to have a lot of success with a bunch of California guys that Herm Edwards and Antonio
Pierce.
Pierce, good Lord.
AP, yep.
AP, yeah, that they were bringing in. I mean, they brought in a lot of talent. There's obviously a lot of talent in California, too, and it seemed like that could have worked if everything didn't go haywire the way it did. I would love to see the local guys, though. That would certainly be fascinating.
And Jaelen, what do you like? It was, I remember when you committed here, and it was like you got this guy who had a lot of success in junior college and came here. And what brought you to ASU, and what do you think will awake the sleeping giant here?
What brought me, I was going to play right away, and also it's paradise here. It's so beautiful here. But I just felt like it was for me. The coaching staff, and Dillingham was on that staff too, by the way. The coaching staff, everybody just felt like I belonged here. As soon as me getting off the plane, that's all I needed to see was the sky and the sun and all that stuff and the trees. I just was like, okay, this is home. But for these guys, it's a bit different. I wasn't coming into a program that's facing sanctions. So that's a big deal right there. ASU needs to make it known to whoever they bring in that they'll commit to them for sure. And that they're going to be patient with them during the sanction process, because kids aren't going to want to go, to a school that may not be receiving everything that other schools are receiving. That's just the nature of it. But what can happen from that, you go into these junior colleges and these prep schools, and you get the guys who are hungry to almost go anywhere. That's what happened with me, Longino, Marcus Hardison, any JUCO guys, Steph Martin, Chris Young.
I feel like we're going through all the dudes who made plays against Notre Dame in that year.
We're all JUCO guys. Lloyd Carrington. We're all JUCO guys. We all came from JUCO. So, Demarie Nelson, Solomon Means. I keep going. It's like that. Without the JUCO people, I'm sorry, that ASU team is not who it is. Demarius Randall, JUCO. We all came in together from JUCO. It was like 14 or 15 JUCO guys. So what ASU can do is go get those JUCO guys, those hungry guys we don't need 4 meals a day. We don't need a big house. We need an apartment. We just blessed with what we have, and we work hard for what we have. That's ultimately what the team was at Arizona State. And that's what the athletic department should be focused on, bringing in the coach and making them helping them understand what's in the near future and how things can be done. But Dillingham was here, so he knows the JUCO thing. He knows that going to get those guys from JUCO is, more important.
What can you tell us about his personality? And he's definitely had the pedigree since then, right?
Yeah, Dillingham he was always quiet, but when I was there, probably not so much now. He got to talk, but he was quiet, but he was smart. He was the one upstairs in the box, like telling Coach Norvell what he sees downstairs on the field. So if it wasn't for, Dillingham and, a lot of other assistants on that coaching staff, we might not be ranked 6th or ranked 5th going, seeing it might be hoping the chance to play in the playoff. So I really am excited that they are starting to talk more about who they are going to see and hire.
Well, can you imagine the hunger too? If you brought in, like you're saying, if you go the JUCO route, bring in some guys who just want a ball, and then you get Arizona kids who just love the place. That's a recipe for success in my mind.
That's how you do it. You definitely going to have to recruit the state. That's for sure. You're going to have to recruit the state. That's what Graham was doing. Graham was, making sure he was making everybody around Arizona State feel like they were a part of Arizona State.
Yeah, and Nick, you do the Kingsman every Friday on the Varsity Zone, and you've talked to a number of these guys. If you ask them specifically about Arizona State, is there like a common theme there?
Honestly, I haven't. It's just like hasn't even been on the radar for any of the guys that I've talked to. And I'm trying to even think because I usually look at 24/7's list of like the top 50 recruits in the state, and I don't remember there being a single Sun Devil logo anywhere on there.
That's crazy. Is Jaelen, how important are coaching connections too? If these guys, if they do bring in the all-star team of Arizona guys and they know every coach in Arizona, how much would that help in-state recruiting?
Oh, yeah, that's important. That's going to be key. That and also transfer portal, when you bring in coaches from other programs. You know, you're going to have players who like, why, that's my coach that I came in with. He's going to Arizona State. I have to go with him, you know? So that's going to help too. When Dylan Hand comes over, there may be 2 or 3 Oregon guys that come too, you know? Maybe you never know. You know, he had Bo Nix over there looking like Justin Herbert. So I'm excited. Hopefully that's what happens, and hopefully Coach Guano can serve as that assistant head coach role and actually still do everything in the community as a head coach would do, like fundraisers and, you know, things like that. I think that'd be a perfect role for Coach Guano. And then, you know, get, like you said, some Arizona history on staff. It's going to go up from there, but that's how you got to do it. Got to build some tradition first.
Yeah, turn Sun Devil Stadium into a madhouse. Last question I have, and it's for Jaelen. Do you have any more questions for Jaelen about football? Because my question is not football related.
No, I know we're about out of time on our Zoom.
We are. Yeah, you saw that pop up there. We got to pay for the upgrade. Jaelen, Sun Devil hockey. What do you think of the forecheck? How do you feel like the line changes are going? And how do you feel like Mullet Arena is as an atmosphere?
Oh, the atmosphere is amazing. It's pretty cold in there, though.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere is amazing. I'm hoping they pack out the game this year, like sell it out. Maybe they play U of A? I know they play.
I think U of A might be a club team, and I think I would like to see that rivalry get going in hockey. I think it's like they got to get the dollars right. But I was there for the first game, and it was fairly full. And I get there's a lot of things to do, but it's beautiful. I mean, did you watch much hockey live? Because I'm not a huge hockey guy. I mean, I've watched it, but I don't really know what's going on.
You understand it more. You be seeing them run their plays and stuff. You're like, oh, okay, I get it now. They're trying to. It's kind of like that basketball drill when they do the 3-man weave. They just drop the puck behind them, and hopefully somebody come pick it up. And then it's crazy though for them to be able to skate like that with all those pads on, and have a stick in your hand and guide a puck. I don't know. I don't think I could. I can't even ice skate. So
I saw a guy do a full front flip and almost land it the first night on like a change of possession. He got undercut like a chop block, and it's and I know they're excited to have you out there. What did Coach Powers tell you when you showed up? Because did you talk to the team at all?
I didn't talk to the team. I didn't get a chance to. I showed up right at like 7, so I didn't get a chance to talk to the team, but. Coach Powers was great, man. He reached out to me on Twitter and just was like, you know, anything you need, just contact me, let me know. So if y'all guys want to go to a game, we going.
In. I got to dig out my coat.
Yeah, for real.
It's nice to have that legendary status.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sun Devil legend, always the big man on campus. Hey, thanks so much for your time today and your insight, and look forward to seeing you back in here in studio later on in the Cardinal season. Hopefully there's still a lot to talk about after Mexico City here and Thanksgiving, and make a little run for the playoffs here.
Oh, yeah, hopefully. I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping. I know I got to see B-Hop play at least 10 more games.
Yeah, it's greatness. It is definitely greatness. So,
yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Appreciate it.
Yes, all right, Nick. Take care.
The Extra Point Podcast is a production of 3TV, CBS5, and azfamily.com in Phoenix, Arizona.